and welcome. My name is Neelay Thaker and I'm joined today by Ravi, Sudhakar, Kambhampati. In this session, we will discuss how born-in-the-cloud companies of all sizes can leverage the power of Microsoft, Azure, and most importantly, Azure AI to build, scale, and grow your businesses. We are also joined by Sachin Mohan, Group CTO at MakeMyTrip, who will present how MakeMyTrip leverage Azure AI to enhance customer experience and extend the reach of their travel booking platform. It is truly the era of AI, and Microsoft is leading from the front to help businesses like yours use AI to create differentiated user experiences and disrupt their industries. The Microsoft Cloud is unique in both the breadth and depth of the cloud solutions that we provide. You can use each of our cloud solutions on a standalone basis or take advantage of the seamless integration between the components and solutions in the Microsoft Cloud. With the Microsoft Cloud, we can enable you to use AI to drive transformation within your organizations. We are doing this in two ways. First, we are building AI capabilities into the Microsoft solutions that we provide as part of the Microsoft Cloud. And second, we are providing the tools and services that you need to build AI services and products yourself to differentiate, to provide differentiated customer experiences for your customers. Thousands of customers from startups to at-scale born-in-the-cloud companies are using Azure to build AI applications. Microsoft is a leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for Cloud AI Developer Services. It is also the first in enterprise cloud adoption based on the recent Flexera report, and also the first in global availability. The Microsoft Cloud Global Infrastructure provides the most far-reaching cloud footprint in today's market. We offer more than 60 regions launched and announced, which is more than any other cloud provider, more than 200 data centers globally, more than 175,000 miles of fiber, and more than 190 points of presence, bringing services and solutions closer to you, the customer, wherever you're based, for low latency and high availability. Our cloud footprint continues to grow as we add more regions and data centers all over the world to meet our customers' growing demands. Startups and born-in-the-cloud companies of all sizes need a cloud partner that can help them address challenges at every step of their journey. They need a cloud that helps them meet today's challenges, such as accelerating innovation, shipping solutions faster, and getting to market more efficiently, as well as finding opportunities to scale and grow their businesses. At Microsoft, we provide these solutions for our customers. Azure provides an industry-leading platform for building AI applications. First, it provides the infrastructure and cloud-native services to help you accelerate and scale your microservices seamlessly in the cloud. Second, it provides low latency and always-on data services that can handle any data type and can scale dynamically. And finally, it provides cutting-edge AI services that support pre-trained foundation and customizable models with responsible AI tooling and flexible deployment options. Now, let's dive deeper into Azure AI with Ravi. Ravi, on to you.
Thank you, Neelay. This is new and exciting moment for AI, but there has been a lot building up to this. My name is Ravi Sudhakar Kambhampati. I lead AI and machine learning business strategy worldwide for digital natives and ISVs. AI is a broad term which covers many different technologies developed over decades. While it may seem as if we are entering a new era of AI, but several momentous milestones in the field have brought us together to this inflection point we see today. While it all started in 1950s, where computer could pass a Turing test of written linguistic fluency, till today, when generative AI took over the world. We have come a long way. For Microsoft, AI breakthroughs did not stop with that. As you can see, we have reached human parity at multiple levels in the last 7 years. That's not all. We have also announced numerous partnerships with leading companies in the AI industry. Starting in 2018, when we published Principles of Responsible AI, to 2019, when we announced our strategic partnership with OpenAI. And then we announced exclusive license for large-scale language models, GPT-3. Those breakthroughs and partnerships are the foundations of many of our services, APIs, and products in the market. With this research, we make AI accessible through technology and services for every organization and industry. In fact, our investment in AI spans the entire company, from breakthrough research to AI tools for developers and data scientists to our AI-powered apps and experiences. By developing this technology, our goal is to augment the work that people do, freeing up their time for creative tasks and innovative thinking. It's all built on the foundation and commitment to responsible AI. Let us take a step back and see what you could do on this platform. I'm sure as cloud-native companies who are at the forefront of innovation, you might already be thinking or have started something on AI. Here are some of the ways we are seeing many of our cloud-native customers build AI solutions on our platform. Many of our customers are building personalized and intelligent experiences by automatically generating content, translating or transcribing speech, recommending solutions to customers, or summarizing a long conversation and then be able to say whether the client was agitated or elated. We categorize these solutions as generative AI experiences. The second scenario is where a lot of our customers are focusing on automation, which requires a lot of data to be analyzed. For example, companies could use to verify customer churn. Some of them are using to gauge inventory and pre-create orders to speed up supply chain, and some of them are using to detect fraud. The third scenario is even more specialized. This is where customers pick a specialty model to fine-tune it on a specific industry and then building market-making solutions from scratch. Some organizations are using open source models on our AI infrastructure to build industry solutions for finance, biotech, healthcare, or even personal assistance. Some of them are building next-generation autonomous vehicles using this platform. So the space is vast. Canvas is open for all of you to create your own art. While I talked about a lot as to what you could do, here is a quick snapshot of our AI services, which you could use to build your own solution. Or in fact, embed amazing experiences with your existing applications to reach new customers. When we look at AI stack, you have the flexibility to start as high as you can and go as low as you need. At the top, we have AI services. You can use specific applications on our search, bot services, form recognizer, and domain-specific pre-trained models, including Azure OpenAI. These are built on foundations of Azure machine learning. As a user of AI services, you don't need to know all the details underneath. But if you do want to access that foundational layer, you can get that by using Azure Machine Learning directly. Azure Machine Learning is a managed end-to-end machine learning platform for building, training, deploying, and operating machine learning models responsibly and securely at scale. These models can be accessed by any application that wants to benefit from them. At the bottom of the stack is our AI infrastructure. This is the platform on which everything above works seamlessly. This is the same world-class infrastructure which OpenAI used to build and train their models. The same platform is available for you to build your own use case or models or anything you would like to do. This runs NVIDIA's most recent hardware, including H100 GPUs, interconnected with high-speed networking. Continuing on the similar theme, you must have seen series of announcements during Ignite related to AI Studio. Your data scientists, engineers are now able to build and train their own models right out of a Studio experience. The same Studio experience will provide you tools such as built-in vector indexing, a prompt engineering tool, so that you can bring your apps with retrieval augmented generation design patterns alive. The Studio makes all of our cognitive services, Azure OpenAI, available for you to create your own apps very quickly and test integration features. And all of this you can do with built-in AI safety and responsible AI practices. During this conference, I'm sure you would have heard a lot about Azure OpenAI Service. This is the service that brings OpenAI models to you. And the service is backed by trusted enterprise-grade capabilities, AI-optimized infrastructure of Microsoft Azure. Many of our cloud-native customers are using this service extensively. Some of them are using this to generate content, to give content writers a head start to make them productive. Some of them are using this to summarize long call records or legal documents or even research papers. Some are using this to create code to make developers more efficient and effective. A very large majority of this service is to search internal or external content by providing amazing search capabilities beyond the standard search solutions. To power these capabilities, OpenAI's GPT, Codex, and DALL-E models are being used. All of these models and use cases are supported by simple integrations to functions, plugins for extensibility. These models can be pointed to your internal datasets and to work responsibly and meaningfully. And when you're ready for full-scale production deployment, these solutions can be deployed on a dedicated capacity so that the applications have reliable and consistent throughput. This feature is called Provision Throughput Model. The cognitive services stack, apart from Azure OpenAI, also includes purpose-built services, which you can directly embed in your applications. These services do not require machine learning experience whatsoever. For example, you can use Video Analyzer to extract metadata from video or audio content. You could use Metric Advisor that can be used to proactively monitor and diagnose issues. Form Recognizer, or we call it document intelligence, can extract key value pairs from forms, invoices, receipts, and standard format documents, which can automate many data entry tasks. And then you can use cognitive search to search through those key value pairs stored in the database for quick retrieval. Again, none of these services need any data science or machine learning knowledge at all. And if your developers need more power or capabilities than the pre-built out-of-the-box services which I had mentioned before, we also provide pre-trained models of computer vision, speech, language services, decision services with reinforced learning on our platform. These are all pre-trained on our data. It does not store your data or any customer's data. Of course, these models are also customizable as you would require for building new experiences. A lot of what I described is for developers, where they consume AI or as a service or an API. As I had mentioned earlier, if you had data scientists in your team who wants to build, train, or inference yourself, Azure Machine Learning is a perfect platform to get started on. Think of this as your workshop, where you can bring any model, any data source, and you can deploy them on a specific compute, even on edge devices or IoT devices. Azure Machine Learning provides a comprehensive model catalog, a feature store, registries where you can access a pre-created environment by clicking just a few buttons. Not only that, Azure Machine Learning supports native open source models, which gives you access to Hugging Face models, OpenAI models, and many other foundational models available in the market. Azure Machine Learning also features a prompt tuning tool as a part of the service itself, allowing you to deploy generative AI models from one single interface. And the last component in the AI stack is AI infrastructure portfolio. This is the key service which makes everything we saw earlier to happen. These are optimized to support AI in cloud. The purpose-built AI's infrastructure is designed to optimally handle everything from complex deep learning workloads like large language models to train, to inference, make AI more accessible to organizations of all sizes. Only Azure AI infrastructure gives you the speed and reliability at scale. For these large AI models, processing a single job running synchronously across thousands of interconnected GPUs. This infrastructure has proven time and again with OpenAI, Inflection, or many other Microsoft-owned AI workloads with ease. We talked about a lot of components available on Azure AI, which can help you build amazing solutions for your customers or for your employees. There is also a non-optional feature which all of us needs to learn, understand, and implement so that our systems are responsible and fair overall. For that, we have built a very robust platform, principles, and tools for us to use as well as for our customers to innovate responsibly. Let me elaborate. Our journey of responsible AI started in 2016, and we are now in version 2 of our responsible AI standard. This all started with 6 principles that we believe should guide AI development and use. These principles were basic building blocks of AI solution which we have developed or deployed internally or externally. The ability of the system to treat everyone fairly and being transparent and inclusive is extremely important. The system being accountable may sound simpler, but they require careful understanding of the system and requires tools to identify and course correct. To do this, here is how we are building champions of responsible AI internally and externally. First is about our research team. It's also called 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗻𝗃. Our internal AI ethics committee performs research and provides recommendations on responsible AI issues. Second is a team, Office of Responsible AI, also called ORA for short, which creates policies and governance processes which clearly defines roles and responsibilities for every team involved. And the third is the last one, which is our engineering team, which operationalizes tooling and system strategy for using AI responsibly. This team is also called RAISE. But this is not something which we do it for ourselves. This is also available for you in the form of our responsible AI standard, AI impact assessment template, tools, and playbook for you to use. And now I'd like to pass this to Sanjay as to how they have been able to disrupt and grow with Azure AI across their businesses. Over to you, Sanjay.
Hi, and a good day to all of you. A pleasure and a privilege to be speaking at this forum. I'm Sanjay. I take care of technology and user experience for MakeMyTrip. And given the composition of the audience, which is largely international, I would be right in assuming that several of you might not be aware of what MakeMyTrip does and the company or the brand. So let me quickly take you through what we do, who we are, and then I'll get into the actual generative AI use cases. Largest online travel super app, online travel aggregators, OTA, one-stop shop for all things travel. As you can see on the screen, the upper part, everything that has to do anything with travel, we have it on our platform. In the direct-to-consumer space, we are present as multiple brands. All of them are leaders in their own segments. The first two are one-stop shop, the travel super app that we talked about. Redbus and Red Rail are focusing more on ground transportation of bus, rails, and cabs. Trip Money is our fintech initiative. And then outside of the direct-to-consumer, we are also present for corporate as MyBiz, for travel agents as MyPartner, and for our affiliate and partners in the sense of open APIs that is powering travel at Amazon, PhonePe, Google Pay, and several Indian banks. Some numbers to corroborate what I just talked about, being India's largest travel super app, 67 million lifetime transacted bookers and 407 million app downloads. In flights, we are on flights, we have 3 out of 10 domestic flyers booking through us. GoMMT actually stands for Go, I View, and MakeMyTrip. Let me build a case for generative AI and why we are so excited about generative AI. I mean, let me set the stage of what really drives us here. We have been one of the very early adopters of generative AI in partnership with Microsoft in India. Let me give you 2 things here that as takeaways. One is the context of India, and mostly in the context of languages. And the second one is the context of travel and the nature of travel being more nuanced and more complex. So let me touch upon both of these things. In terms of language, roughly 15 to 20% of India actually reads, writes, and comprehends English well, which leaves a much larger population that is outside of the realm of English e-commerce market space. And that is the space that we want to include now. We are trying to be inclusive of people who are outside in the 80% and bring them into the fold, that they can also, having the willingness and the capacity to pay, they can also participate in this travel purchase excitement. The other part that you should also remember is that there are 22 recognized official languages in India, and that is how India is very different from every other country. Every state has more or less a different language, a different dialect, and we have to make it easy for all of these people, especially in tier 3 and tier 4, to come online and transact and buy the favorite travel products. The other aspect is with the context of travel, which is a more complex, more nuanced, in the sense we elicit a lot more information from the user before the user can buy the product. For instance, if you're buying an airline ticket, you have to enter where are you traveling from, on what date, where are you going to, when do you want to return, your names, passengers, the preferences of the passengers, and so on and so forth. So it's in that form, you can compare it to a heavy form filling. It's a long list of things that you have to fill out before you can purchase the product. And especially in the context of Indian vernacular languages where the keyboards are not very friendly, that long form filling becomes a very painful, frustrating exercise. And that is where we believe that voice comes to the rescue, and voice in combination with GPTs and LLMs, that is a wonderful solution for all of this audience to get them into the fold. Also for people who have accessibility needs, visual impairments, fat finger syndromes, whatever having difficulty navigating a complex app, the voice again comes to the rescue because it makes the application immediately accessible to a larger population. On the Gen AI capabilities, the things that we are using again is analysis, synthesis, and conversations. And let me touch upon a little bit of these in the following slides. These are the use cases that we are covering. Hotels, we are doing analysis mostly of user-generated content, the hotel reviews. We give you a contextual summary of what things you would like to see, given your cohort, given your persona. We will give you exactly what you need to see in the summarized hotel reviews. On the synthesis part, we have SEOs. The templates are coming out, again, cohort-based templates that we are driving. Flights and holidays, we are experimenting with conversational flows. I'll take you through one of the flows, which is a flights example in subsequent slides. There are some things that are supported by large language models, which I'm listing here on the lower bottom left side. Summarization, conversation, and language translation, this is supported by the large language models and the GPTs. And then there are things outside of the GPTs, which is speech to text, text to speech, hybrid user experience. These are things not touched within the GPTs, but the problem when you're offering to a customer, you have to solve the problem end to end. So I'll touch upon a little bit of those also. Let me quickly take you through some of the screenshots of how it looks like. Touch upon the conversational style here, which is important. For flights, conversational booking, we are using a very guided flow, which is short prompting style. Whereas for a holidays booking, which is more nuanced, and obviously the customer will have a lot more questions and clarifications, it's a more free-flowing kind of a conversation with a longer prompt. It has implications on latency otherwise, but we will eventually solve the problem. I mean, we've been at this game not for too long yet, a few months. This is how the right side of the right screen is what it looks like. We call it 𝗦𝗽𝗀. That is our voice chat expert, and we are showing you examples both in English and Hindi. You can press on the mic button and start speaking there, and in your language of choice, English or Hindi, or you can type whatever you want. Typing again is difficult because of the regional keyboards are not being very friendly. And there's a logo. I mean, again, the right interface, the two boxes that we are showing on the right side, they have a logo which is indicative to the customer that this response is coming through a bot and this is not a human. So just in the interest of transparency, that you know that you're interacting with a bot and the content is coming from a bot. Let me take you through the flights booking experience, which is what is the most interesting part so far. We have it in English and Hindi using voice. A shorter prompting style, as I talked about, it's a guided flow. So we take you through each and every stage of listing all the options and then helping you make a selection and then entering the traveler information. I'll show you all of that. One of the other things that we are doing here is on the payment part, where we have this segment of population in tier 3 and tier 4. Not all of them have credit cards, so we are integrating it very seamlessly with Government of India's unified payment interfaces. It has been on our platform for the longest time, but for the voice interfaces, we are focusing more on that because of the audience that we have in mind. Let me quickly take you through the flows here. You want to book a flight from Delhi to Goa, for instance, and I'll give you all the options. And then there's a conversational flow that you can give your own filters. You can specify the listings. You can tell me what dates exactly, and it brings you to a listing flow. All the options will be listed. Then you make a selection. This is what you have selected. You see the journey details. You see the fee. You enter the traveler details subsequently, which is again in the middle screen here. Confirmation and your contact information, and then you can make the payment on UPI and then move on. So that's the flight funnel flow. Again, I could have done this in voice. It would have been more interesting. But the fact that we wanted, you wouldn't be able to, some of you or several of you wouldn't be able to understand the Hindi flow. So I thought I'll restrict myself to just a screen flow here. These are the architectural components that we are using for our packaging of the use cases. From Azure side, AI services, OpenAI and speech services. And then we have our own domain APIs of flights, holidays, cabs, hotels, trains, and buses. And this is what we have on the architectural component, several services coming all together to build a more interesting use case. So let me talk about the way forward. I mean, we've accomplished quite a bit in a very short duration of a few weeks, maybe a couple of months. It's been interesting so far. Customers are liking and using the user flows that we built, the combination of services that we are using. There's more work that is needed on the colloquial part. For example, in Hindi, the translations that you are getting out of the standard translator services are very textbookish and very classical. The choice of words is something that tier 3 or tier 4 users from those cities will have to struggle with. So we have to make it a little bit easier. People typically also mix Hindi and English, for instance, in a single sentence, and it's a very, you can't just choose one language and stick to that in a classical way. So it has to be more colloquial, everyday usage of the language, the way it's done in those regions. The accents are different, the dialects are different, the choice of words are different in every, even within Hindi speakers. And that is a problem that we have to solve. We are working with Microsoft definitely to solve these problems, but there's also hope that government, through its crowd-sourced data on voice and regional dialects, that will also come to our rescue. So we are counting on all of these things as we solve it for the larger consumer base that we have. On the user experience, this is a hybrid interaction, as I mentioned, a mix of voice and visual. So sometimes you are talking, sometimes you are making a selection on the screen. So whether you keep the screen facing you or away from you, which is different people will use the screens differently. And a very trivial thing like that, but the solution is not so trivial. So we are working on that as well. I think hybrid, the user experience is just as hard as the technology in this space, but there's hope. And we are confident that as we move forward, as we are aware of more and more issues, we will come to solve all of those, working jointly, again, to solve all of these problems, to bring the best solution forward for our customers. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Sanjay. It's exciting and it's great to see how Azure AI is helping MakeMyTrip transform the experience for millions of its customers. Microsoft offers Azure AI certifications to help you build and validate your knowledge based on your role, so I'd highly recommend checking these certifications out. Microsoft also provides programs with a wide range of benefits, including credits and support to help you easily get started, deployed, and scale your applications on Microsoft Azure. With Founders Hub, Pegasus, and ISV Success, you can build your AI apps on Azure and grow your business. For more information on these programs and Microsoft solutions, visit the Digital Natives on Azure page. Thanks for listening.